Hi everyone, my name is Marilene Quintana. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and also Director of Operation at eVisa Immigration, and I'm here today to talk about the 5 most common mistakes that a person can make while applying to immigrate to Canada. Before we start, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, click on the little bell right below so you can receive the notifications of our new weekly videos, and feel free to leave us a comment as well. The first mistake that I would like to talk about today is not completing the forms or the paperwork properly. Completing the forms may seem easy, but when you complete the form, you are making a declaration. And when the officer receives that information, they are looking for specific answers to see whether you're not to qualify for the program. So a simple mistake can jeopardize your application. And also, the way that you organize the documents and present the documents is very important. This because when the officer will look into your documentation, they are also seeking very specific information to respond to eligibility requirements. A lot of people decided to send a lot of not required documentation to support the statement that only makes more complicated for the officer to find the answers, and eventually if he doesn't find the answer as he may think, it may also put your application in danger. So you have to know how to answer correctly and how to prepare the documents in a way that's very clear for the officer that's receiving your application to understand how you are responding to each of the eligibility requirements of your application. The second mistake that I would like to talk about, it is providing false or misleading information. And the important point that you have to have in mind is not always the information that you provided that the officer considered as misleading was intentional. It may be a mistake. It may be unintentionally. However, the officer may consider that you provide that information on purpose, intentionally, to change the way that he would assess your application, to change the possible decision that he would apply to your application if he had the correct information, not the one that you provided. So you have to be very, very careful because the simple information can also put your application in jeopardy. Meaning, a simple mistake can affect your application negatively and affect the decision that's made in your application. Making sure that all information about you in your application is consistent and correct, and also all the background information about you that's available on the internet, for example, also is consistent with what you are applying, what you are mentioning in your application, is very important to avoid this issue. Once a person has an application refused by misrepresentation, they can also be banned to apply to Canada again within the next 5 years. So this is very, very serious. Third mistake that you can make, it is about the translation. So there's 2 important things here. First, all your documents that are not in English or French must be translated, and cannot be any translation, must be by a certified translator. If this translator it is in Canada, you have certain conditions to meet, and if the translation is outside Canada, the conditions may differ. Also, according to the application type that you are applying under, it also may have few differences in how you present the documents. For example, if you need to present a copy of the original or a certified copy of the original notarized by a notary public from your country. So this all depends, and you have to observe very carefully so your application will not be refused in case you don't provide the translation correctly. The fourth mistake is about using an unauthorized representative. This is very, very serious, and as you may know, a lot of people want to immigrate to Canada, and the same way that the demand of immigration increases, unfortunately, there is a lot of people that want to take advantage of it. So a lot of people that claim to be professionals, however, they don't have the certification, they don't have the qualification, and they don't have the requirements to work in that occupation, to represent a client before the government of Canada. So be very careful with whom you choose to work with. If you wanted to confirm if your representative it is authorized, please go to the ICCRC website. They have a registry list there that contain all the name and information of all people that are authorized to represent clients for a fee. Using a representative that's not in the list, that's not authorized, may affect your application in different ways. First, because that person doesn't have the qualification, so they may not be preparing your documentation correctly. Secondly, that person has no standing with the government of Canada, meaning if something goes wrong, that person cannot represent you to pursue the correctness of your application. Third, that person can disappear at any time, because when you do something wrong and something illegally, you can just disappear, right? So the person may eventually run with all your money, so you have to be very careful. And fourth, the government of Canada, once aware that you are using a person that's not authorized, they can also refuse your application. So be aware, don't let yourself be fooled by people that doesn't have the proper credentials to work with immigration. The fifth mistake, it is about not looking for proper and professional help when needed. Some people decide to apply alone without the use of a representative. It is okay, and if you have the time to do that, the time to research, and you believe that you can read and prepare an application that will be in a good way, that will lead to the approval, that's totally fine. But I see so many people losing the opportunity to apply because they got stuck. Either because they didn't have time to prepare and research and study, maybe because they were feeling insecure and then just didn't move to the next step and then end up losing the opportunity and the timing to apply. And a lot of people just because they believe they have the time, they believe they'll do a better job, but they cannot make it a priority. And when it comes to immigration, times matter. If you don't apply within certain timeline, your qualification may change completely. The problem may change completely. The cutoff point can be completely different. And the immigration policies in Canada are very dynamic. They change all the time. One day the program is open, the other day the program closes, another program is open. So you really have to be very focused to do a good job, to make sure that your application it is correct, and better to make sure that you are not losing any opportunity by doing by yourself, that you are effectively choosing the best way to apply to immigrate to Canada. So if you feel that you are stuck, if you feel that you don't have the time to prepare and research and understand the program, you should pursue professional help. Can be only for a consultation, can be for a technical consultation, can be for the consultant takeover, but it is important for you to recognize when you need to take that decision, so you don't lose the opportunity to apply, okay? And if you decided to work with a professional, we can definitely help you. We are going to leave our contact information right below in this video. You can always reach out to us, and it'll be a pleasure to assist you with the immigration journey. So that's all for today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and please feel free to send us comments regarding this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.